Welcome to the High Plains Hideout. This is the VGR Review. Hey there fam, welcome back to the High Plains Hideout. This is the VGR Review. I am of course Justin, and you know what? Thanks for coming and hang out with us. I hope you all are doing well, you're safe. I'm going to tell you here, it is pretty chilly out. It's 9 degrees last I looked, and a wind chill putting it down around -11. And I feel like it's the perfect time when it's nice and chilly outside to grab a nice warm cup of coffee, sit down, and let's talk about this product. This product is, well, it's a hoodie. That's right. We all love hoodies. You know, guys love them. Women steal their guys' hoodies. Guys go buy another hoodie just so they, continue this endless cycle of hoodies disappearing into their girlfriend or wife's clothing area. And, well, what if one was tactical, What if you had one that had tactical patch panels and all that stuff? Well, there is one available. There's actually a few out there I would be aware of, but this one in particular you can find through Military First. It's online military surplus and clothing store. If you've never heard of them, you might want to check them out. They have a lot of good product. You can also get these on Amazon, but if you go through Amazon, it just orders from Mil First, but on their Amazon store. So you might as well just cut the middleman out and don't give any money to Amazon and just go straight to Military First. So what's this product? Well, it's the Viper Tactical Hoodie. That's right. If you've been watching the Instagram or the Twitter or even the Facebook, I've been dropping hints, and, the very first one was the Viper tag on it. And I'm not going to lie to you, they are a pretty dang good hoodie. Very comfortable, very warm. But what's the things that we should probably, start off with? What's the great thing to start off with here? Well, I think my favorite thing about it is the thumb holes on the little elastic band. I love that. I think that's cool. That's one of my favorite things. I don't know what it is, but something about hoodies with a thumb hole is just super cool. It's kind of like if you have a waffle shirt from the military, the waffle shirt and its thumb holes that are on there, and you just go, yeah, that's super comfortable. You just put it on, and then when you slide your gloves over, it gives you that little overlap area. Oh, beautiful. Perfect. I love it. So that's probably one of my favorite things about it. But what else is out there about this thing that's really kind of cool to touch base on? Well, I mean, you can get it in your usual tactical colors, the titanium, the green, coyote, the tactical colors. So what is, most of us grab a hoodie just for something to put on, keep, an extra layer or so, whatever. And this thing is a fleece. So it's a fleece hoodie. So what it makes it really good for is it's an extra layer. And when I worked in the cell phone fields and I was climbing towers all the time, I would definitely use this type of hoodie as a insulator layer. I would always have, especially in the wintertime, have, say, your long underwear, your long johns on, your Under Armour cold weather gear or whatever it is, your super Whamadine hunting stuff. A long sleeve shirt, then throw something like this Viper Tactical Hoodie over top of it, and then put on like a Gore-Tex or any like the shark skin type jackets, the soft shell jackets as they're calling them now. They were shark skin when they first started making them. Now they're the soft shell. You can find them, wherever. So it's a very good insulator layer, and it's also on its own a very good layer just for a quick browse around town. It's a good fall time and early spring hoodie to wear on its own. It's very comfortable. It doesn't, it's not that scratchy kind of fleece. It's actually very comfortable, especially after you wash it a few times. It becomes very comfortable. Now, the hood itself is pretty nice. I do enjoy the hood. It's actually, it seems pretty thick comparative to some of the other hoodies out there. You get like your typical hoodie from Walmart or wherever, and you go, oh man, this hood just feels kind of thin, like it's one layer of cloth, like they cut the sweatpants legs open and they just made a hood out of the sweatpants legs kind of feeling. This actually, you can feel there's multiple layers of fleece there. It is very comfortable. It doesn't, scratch up your ears or anything. But if you're like me and you expend a lot of heat, then it can be a little bit of a hot box area, and not like the Cheech and Chong hot box. So where would you wear this? It's definitely, if it's a cold day, throw on a layer, whether you got a Gore-Tex, combat smock, the old M65, I believe it is, the field jackets. They go good with that. If you don't have the actual like liner, the Whoopee style liner that goes in that thing, it would be good with that. It's also good with like if you're a backpacker, I would recommend having one of these, not because of the tactical part, but because it is an excellent insulator layer, and it doesn't weigh a whole lot. It's actually surprisingly pretty lightweight. You don't notice it. And that's an important thing when you're a backpacker and you're out on the trail is how much gear can you stow away and how much of it is super light so you don't notice it. And so this is, again, if you go with the Rogers Rangers idealism, have stuff that does more than one thing. Well, of course, this gives you an insulator layer. It gives you a slight protection from that, but it also, you could use it as a pillow. You could use it as something, just maybe even cutting it up to insulate parts, whatever. It's got multiple tasks you can probably get away with. Me personally, I would probably just use it as a layer and a pillow, but I'm sure you could probably get more out of it. That's completely up to you on how you would choose to use it. That's just me. Now, what if I think is the best part about this thing? I think the price tag is the best thing on this, okay? If you go hoodie shopping, and if you're like me, you're like, oh man, I want a Whoopee hoodie. Well, let's go check out Zero Fox or some of the others, or Whoopee hoodie, the original Whoopee hoodie. Check out all these hoodie companies that are making Whoopee hoodies. And you see the price tag and you just go, ouch, that hurts. Your pocketbook starts, whimpering a little bit when you're looking at the price of it. Or even if you go look at like a fleece hoodie somewhere else, you're going to spend upwards of $60, $70. Heck, I've been in some places just because it has, a Patagonia or something on there, and you're going to be charged like $90 for it, and you're going, oof. I mean, I remember going to Cabela's and dropping $80 on a hoodie, and it wasn't even for me, which was even more disappointing. But it's, the price tag, and you're looking at about $40, and that's, right around with shipping and stuff like that, okay? $40 for a hoodie. It's comfortable. It's not, oh yeah, it's not super Wambadine top of the line. It doesn't have, like the Pentagon logo or anything else. It's a Viper Tactical. It's very kind of subdued. And for the most part, if you don't put any patches on the tactical panels, I don't think anybody would even notice the tactical panels really. They do stand out, but they're not like, oh man, those are, huge and massive. They're actually kind of blended in. They do try to color match pretty well, and they do, for the most part, match very, very well. So where is the issue with wearing it around and being cool? There really isn't one. Gray man wise, I wouldn't recommend it. Again, it goes into that tactical category of it looks tactical, so you must be carrying or packing. And honestly, this thing, if you buy, I always buy a size up from my normal sizes anyway. I wear larges usually, and I always buy an extra large hoodie just because it gives you extra room. But also in the event of concealed carry, it does allow it to be pulled over, hide that I'm concealed carried a little bit more, if I was, so inclined to do that. Where I think the shortcoming here might be, and it's just a shortcoming, and I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's, it's a deal breaker. No, I think it's just something that maybe Viper should look at, and it's the patch field itself, your hook and loop field, is kind of small. To be fair, you can barely get 2 patches on it, and that's pushing it, and they're usually hanging over quite a bit. So if you put a flag patch on, that's basically all that's going to hang in there, because unless you've got like a really small name tape or something, a really small patch to put in there, that's going to be about it. The circular patches, so if you saw the post again on the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook of my Sketches World patch on there, where it basically takes up the entire field. And it's, it's not a big patch. It really isn't. So that's kind of small. So again, I wouldn't recommend, throwing all your tech to cool patches and your IR patches and everything all over it. It's not really going to be meant for that. I would definitely 100% recommend this for an intermediate layer. And I mean an intermediate layer. Definitely if you have the soft shell jackets, most of those soft shell jackets do not have a lot of insulation in them. That's how they save money on them, really, is they cut out the insulation part of it and they go, well, the skin will protect you from the wind and the weather. Yeah, but if you're in a place like Wyoming, the wind will get in no matter what you do, and it will always be cold. So add that extra layer, and that's where this fits in perfectly. Something else I would like to talk about, and it is kind of a downer. I'm not going to say it's against the hoodies in general, but out of the two I did buy, the green one that I have, it's not really OD, they just call it green, and it is close to OD green, but it's more of like a sage OD green fadey color. And this comes from that's within about a week of having it, the stitching in the, as they call it, the kangaroo pocket, and for everyone else it's that front pocket that sits up front where everyone always stuffs their hands in. Okay, that's called the kangaroo pocket, even though it should be an open on the top for a kangaroo pocket. But anyway, the stitching started coming out on the top part of that, and I'm not going to say, oh yeah, that just means all of them are bad, because, well, the second hoodie I have has had no issues, no stitching issues, so maybe I just got a QA bad batch of the green one, and the QA didn't check the stitching as well, or maybe something else. I don't know. I just know that within a few weeks it started to pull out the stitching on that pocket. Just on the green one, the titanium one, of course, has no issues at all going on with it, and is still 100%. Matter of fact, I'm wearing it right now because, again, with wind chill, it's -11 outside, and I have a dog, so I end up going outside. So I can't say anything bad about it. I don't, maybe if you buy one and it happens to you, maybe you go to Viper and go, hey man, what the heck? But personally, I just looked at it and went, okay, well, 1 out of 2, 50-50. Maybe I just got a bad QA batch. Maybe the person who, ran that green one through didn't pay as much attention and the stitching just didn't sit right. Whatever. I can't hold that against the whole outfit as a generalization, especially with one that functions perfectly and I love to wear all the time in the wintertime. So what would I tell you as a recommendation? Go ahead and pick a couple up, man. Seriously, it's $40 for one. And if you're using it as an intermediate layer, if you're a backpacker, if you're a hiker, if you're looking for something to go under your combat jacket or something else to give you an extra little bit of insulation, then I would recommend it. Definitely pick it up. It's a good buy, okay? Throw one in your EDC pack. It's lightweight. You won't really notice it. Do something like that, right? Yeah, I can't say really too much bad for it. I mean, it's not going to hurt the bank. Go to Military First, buy a couple, and if you just type in Viper Tactical Hoodie, it'll pop up, and you can see the colors, and you can. Last I looked, they even have like a multicam styled one, so you can go that route if you need the tactical feeling. You can go that route. All right. So, next thing on the list, and this is something I've been sitting on, and I felt it needs to be talked about anyway, is a hat. And everyone loves hats. And I'm going to tell you, if you're like me and you got out of the service, or for some reason now you have to wear glasses, or you've always worn glasses, wearing a ball cap can be one of the most obnoxious things on the planet, especially when you go to the range or anything else, because your hat always gets hit in your glasses and it pushes your glasses down, or you push your hat up or something like that. Well, I want you to go out and I want you to check out Notch hair or hats, okay? Not hair, hats. Notch, Notch, okay? You've probably seen the ads on Facebook, stuff like that. If you haven't, it's basically a hat where the brim already has notches cut into it, so it just slides down over your glasses. And honestly, I cannot recommend that enough. That is an amazing thing. And honestly, wearing one for about a month and a half, I had several people that are former military guys and even just shooters that saw the hat and went, "Oh my God, that's amazing. Where did you get it?" And I'm pretty sure I drummed up a good amount of business for these guys just because a bunch of guys went, "We want those." And they probably, and you can get them all the two cool tactical colors that you always see out there. The multicam, the ATAXs, the plain coyote, the olive drab, whatever. You can find them out there, guys. But I will tell you, go ahead, head out there, check them out if you wear glasses and you like to wear a ball cap. Or if, like me, it's a bad habit from the military where you almost always have to have a ball cap of some sort on. Go ahead, check them out. But I think we're going to call it a day there. Thank you for coming out. Do me a solid and follow the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram. You'll see pictures of what's going on, what's happening there. I try to update those at least every couple of days, 2 daily. If you are so inclined, you can send donations to the page. Just the big thing I'm asking for is rate and review and tell your buddies out there, let them know, hey, check this out, all right? That does me a favor, and it gets the show bigger and popular. All right, so be safe, be smart, be ready. We'll talk to you next time.